What's going on, George Mason? Welcome back inside the Pressbox. I am the host. I'm the center guy, DeMonte Shaw.
We're all hosts here.
Myself the host.
I'm Nathan Lapierre.
I'm just, the talk guy. I'm Brent Randolph.
Yeah, as you can see, we got to change the scenery here. Had to improvise a little bit, but here we are, kicking it in the corner pocket area on this fancy desk.
Beautiful desk.
With the beautiful background. We got green and gold going on. It's a class color Friday. Yeah, we thought we'd do something a little different today, so here we are. I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, we just want to get started talking about our amazing soccer team. Like,
quite amazing. Ranked 18th as of the recording of this show. Undefeated. I looked at the top 25, and George Mason and Delaware were the only two teams with no losses and no ties. So keep it up, Patriots.
Plan on keeping it that way.
Yeah.
You see, Timmy.
If you thought last year was a fluke, you're wrong, because clearly they're still doing it. So Timmy's doing his thing. Our boy Timmy, we had him on here. We'll get him on here again. Maybe we'll do some things with him. So, I mean, doing great things.
Yeah.
Number 18. Brent predicted before we started that we're gonna make the top 10.
Yeah, it did. We will crack the top 10 at some point early. In this season.
Well, prediction.
You heard it here. Brent Randolph, top 10. We got a lot going on Mason's campus as far as sports. Volleyball team, girls volleyball, they're playing. They're going through a transition period, having a lot of new players join the team. So, they're working hard. So we'll continue to support them and go out to their games.
Yeah, it's still early in the season. I mean, conference play hasn't started yet, and that's probably the most important thing when you talk about these games. Like the tournaments that they're playing in, like they had a couple Patriot Invitationals, and then they're out on the road like this week, I believe. So those are just to get warmed up for conference play. That's probably the most important thing for them right now.
So support them. We got you, Morgan. I guess we can turn it over to a little pro sports. There's a recent trend going on of just athletes behaving badly. We're just kind of talking about, is it that are athletes just getting worse, or are people just starting to care now? So I don't know. I mean, the recent Adrian Peterson situation, just guys that you don't think would get in trouble, and then it's like, oh wow, if he did that, like I can't, what's going on?
Yeah, it's getting pretty hard to believe. Like just all the stories that are coming out in a row, like. Every day now, it just seems like another player is getting arrested.
Yep, Jonathan Dwyer just came up. Yeah, and I think it's definitely people are starting to care and are just starting to really talk about these sorts of issues now. I think a lot of this used to happen in the past and was just brushed under the rug, but now all leagues, but certainly the NFL right now, are trying to become much more conscious of how their players are acting on and off the field. Or off the field, that is, and it really matters to a lot of people. And you've certainly seen with domestic violence where they've completely turned that policy around in the wake, of course, of the Ray Rice scandal, and not to mention McDonald for the 49ers as well, and Hardy for the Panthers. So it's amazing how many cases we've had, and now with Adrian Peterson, that's a little bit of a different sort of case, so we'll have to see, when the facts come out about that. But certainly, I think it's more of a case of people starting to care more than athletes are suddenly becoming violent.
When people saw the Ray Rice video, it just kind of turned the world on its head a little bit. Like it woke so many people up that it just got really crazy. And then with every subsequent arrest after that, people started getting a little bit more and more outraged. And now, like, the NFL is losing sponsors and stuff like that. Or they're having sponsors announce that they're disappointed with the way that the NFL is handling these things.
Yeah.
Which I feel like if they would have had like a specific set way of handling it in the first place, this wouldn't be happening.
Basically, I feel like society's just saying like, hey, every day people get in trouble for these things. Why should you be exempt from getting in trouble? And
they shouldn't.
Right.
I think the NFL is finally
they're figuring
that.
Yeah. They had their guys on a pedestal where you can do whatever you want to do because you get paid millions to play football or basketball or baseball. But now it's like, at the end of the day, you're just like the rest of us, so you get in trouble like the rest of us, and it should affect your career. Because, an average guy, if I get caught dealing drugs, you better believe you know, I may get in trouble, but they're not gonna let me still be an RA and still do my job here. They're not gonna still let me work with admissions. Like I'm gonna lose like my employment, which is what's
on
happening
your
now.
criminal record and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, football is a sport and it's a business, but it's their job too. So they should be affected in that area as well. So.
And what I was just thinking, actually, I wanted to bring up. What do we think about Roger Goodell? Is his job and is that under fire at all? I know a lot of people want him out. The players generally don't like him. Basically, everyone except for the owners doesn't really like him.
Pretty much.
So, what do we think about that?
I feel like.
I think so. Yeah. So, and the problem is the owners really like him.
Good luck getting all the owners to vote him out.
The players would have to do something to piss the owners off, or get the owners thinking, okay, well now my players are causing me to lose money because they don't want to play. They're not doing this or that. So maybe Goodell might need to leave. But I don't know. It's gonna be tough. I feel like in the coming weeks, as more and more things happen, I feel like he's gonna make more and more mistakes. Just because I mean we're humans, we're bound to make mistakes, but with so many cases, he has a greater chance of making.
Right.
It's too many cases.
With no set policy, so it's just his judgment. There's gonna be a lot of people that disagree with his decisions. So I think there's gonna be more and more cries for him to lose his job. And especially if this Ray Rice thing comes out that the NFL had those tapes. You could be looking at some serious things.
It's really hard to believe that the NFL didn't have those tapes for teams using it all.
Right.
There.
And
Like,
that's
it
what a lot
just
of
doesn't seem
people
possible.
say. Right.
I don't think that's possible.
Yeah. And then the report saying that, oh, you did get it in
Yeah.
the
Someone was saying, yeah.
and they have a voicemail confirming the receipt of the video. So it's very shady. I don't know what's gonna happen with that or with Goodell, but he better start doing some really good things to change people's minds about him. 'Cause right now he's just not in the best light. It's just how it is. But I don't know. This also like gets you thinking because you have in this day and age, sports is so huge in our society that kids idolize these guys, and now you have a huge problem with these role models, and they're looking at their sports heroes getting in trouble. It's
Right.
bad. I mean, I used to think that athletes served as great role models, but I don't know. I've started a little lost my faith in that in recent times.
I mean, no one's perfect.
Right.
I mean, everybody's gonna have that skeleton in their closet, but just like we said earlier, all the over and over, just everyone, like even the star players now getting arrested for these things. It's just people like DeMonte said earlier that you wouldn't expect getting arrested, now getting arrested for some skeletons that they have in their closet. And it does make you question a little bit whether these guys are truly people that are going to come to.
And I think, I guess the other thing we've been hearing a lot about too is the drug policy change, and that's affecting a lot of people. And there were some people there that I was surprised to hear about too. Wes Welker surprised me with the amphetamine use.
Yeah.
So that was a surprise to me. He's back now, of course. But Josh Gordon, of course, repeat offender. Jerome Simpson just got caught again. So Justin Blackman, if you even remember him, he's same nerd.
He hasn't been on the field in so long.
Did he get caught with like 400 pounds of marijuana?
So much. He was dealing to the streets of Chicago.
Yeah,
I didn't realize
he was
that
caught with
much.
literally like a truckload.
Yeah, I was like, you're a professional football player. You're making $1 million.
Why do you need to do this?
Invest your money.
Not in that. Not that kind of investment. And he got caught like 3 times or something.
Yeah. Finally, people were just like, let's let this guy away. Get him out of the league.
You gotta do better.
Yeah. You're getting paid millions.
Yeah.
But I wish we could move on to a lighter topic, but big news in the NFL.
That's what's going on right now, though.
Yeah.
I mean, destruction of the Buccaneers at the hands of the Falcons.
Yeah.
That happened too.
RG3 going down yet again.
Oh yeah.
He's set to miss half the season.
I think we can officially apply the injury-prone label now. It's sad to say, and you hate to see a promising young career just get derailed like that. And like I was saying previously, it doesn't matter how talented you are. If you miss that many years and that many games of all that practice because you keep having to rehab from injuries, it can just throw off your entire career. So I guess the interesting discussion now to have is how do we think Kirk Cousins is going to do?
Well, clearly I believe in Kirk Cousins. I'm not a Redskins fan.
Oh yeah.
But I had RG3 as my quarterback. I used auto draft. I didn't draft him first. And he went down. So I'm not a Redskins fan. I even felt for the guy. But what did I do? I went out and I picked up Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
So clearly I believe he can do well. I think the first injury, the ACL, whatever it was, he came in and he did it. Both.
Or just both.
He came in and did a tremendous job, and even then there was cries for give Captain Kirk, let him, finish the season, let him go to the playoffs, and he's capable.
And maybe you should have because you saw the Seahawks game. I don't think RG was ready to come back. And I mean, his leg just collapsed. It was a pretty bad looking injury. When it
tore his ACL.
You knew right away. It was good. I knew right away as soon as I saw that it was a torn ACL.
Yeah.
So. I mean, but then he came in last year at the end and was not very good. Now you could say the franchise was going down in flames. It was. I mean, it was a disaster. I don't know if anyone could have done well.
There was no writing that shit.
Yeah, I mean, you probably could have thrown in Aaron Rodgers and it would still have not gone well. But so we'll see. I mean, we're really going to get a long, extended look at Kirk Cousins in a pocket passing system. I mean, you could argue. Certainly that maybe he's a better pocket passer, even if he's not as mobile, and that's what Gruden's system is set up for. So, I mean, we're really going to get an extended look at Kirk Cousins here. So for all the people that are crying out for him to start, or on the other side think that RG3 should come back, well, stay tuned and we'll see throughout the season how he performs. This will be our real chance to see how he does. So we'll see.
I believe if he has a great season in these 8 games, I'm sorry RG3, but I think at that point, look,
it's a business. If you're gonna win, you want to win, obviously.
Yeah, and it's funny because in that draft, everyone was like, "Why would you take, RG3 and then take another great quarterback in the same draft? Like, what message are you sending to Robert Griffin?
Why they would take Kirk Cousins in the 4th round?
Yeah. Like it turned out to be one of their best picks right now. That guy's been in charge of like a third of our games for the last 2 years. So
they look like geniuses now.
Yeah.
Listen to the kids. Don't let people, downplay your decisions. It could turn out to be a great move, as crazy as it looks at the time. Okay, you do that.
Remember that.
But yeah, I'm interested to see. I'm just interested to see how all the stories are going to play out in the NFL. It's really, my team isn't exciting to watch anymore. So I just like watching to see how the rest of the drama in the league plays out. Because the Cowboys are pretty consistent at 8-8. It's pretty.
Yeah.
1-1 this year.
Yeah. 1-1.
They're well on their way.
Pace for 8-8.
They're well on their way for 8-8 again.
Right. Nathan suggested I should start going to Vegas and that.
Yeah, hey, 8-8 every year.
I can predict how the season's going to end. It's 5-8. We're gonna win the next 2 games.
Yeah, exactly.
So I might actually start doing that. Make a little side money. Pay off tuition.
Yeah. Disclaimer: he's not actually doing that.
No. I won't. Please. I don't. Please. But yeah, I think it's pretty good wrap up. Got a lot covered. Thank you for kicking it with us here in the press box. We've got some interesting ideas coming up, so stay tuned. We may have some different hosts. We may look the same, but we may be different. You take that how you want it. We're still working on our athlete challenges, so those are definitely to come if we can work those out. But yeah, we are really trying to do big things this year. We really love that support. So stay tuned to the press box. We're only gonna get better. We're gonna get stronger, and we're here for you. So signing off, I'm DeMonte Shaw.
I'm Nathan LaPierre.
And I'm Brendan Randolph.
And this is the press box. Press on, George Mason.